If you're an empath, it feels natural to overgive, overshare, and overpour. But as you grow older, you start realizing how exhausting it is to give people who never give you the same back. You learn your energy is valuable and protecting it becomes a priority. That is a fact. Collective, you have learned to protect your peace like a country protects their gold. Yes, right? Because just like this quote says, you've got tired. You got fed up, collective. Like, collective, you had enough. Like, you know how some people say that they're done and they just be talking a good game, you know what I'm saying? But then they eventually just go back and do the same thing or go back and still end up with the same person. No, that's not you, collective. Like, you're done. And the people that thought that you weren't, they're starting to feel your absence. Like, they see you're not playing now. Like, you might have in the past given people second chances, because you have a good heart, you have an open heart, so you wanted to forgive. And, you made the mistake of giving them the same access to your heart and your emotions and to your whole being. You know what I'm saying? And they turned around and they betrayed you again, right? But you've had so many experiences, collective, of you giving people more than one chance after they done you wrong. And for them to turn back around and play in your face, for them to turn back around and do the same thing or do double or do worse, it's just mind boggling, right? And you had to fight yourself, your inner dialogue, to question who you were, because it got to a point where now you started to doubt yourself and second guess yourself. And you started to question, well, hey, it must be me. There must be something wrong with me if it keeps happening to me. If I keep getting betrayed, then I'm doing something wrong. No, it wasn't. Well, you were doing something wrong, collective, but it wasn't something innately that you were doing wrong. The only thing that you were doing wrong, collective, and this is what you figured out, is you did not restrict your access, right? You did not create these healthy boundaries to protect your heart and your emotions. See, you allowed that same access back in after they hurt you, after they betrayed you, after they've done you wrong, collective. So you figured out, like, whoa, that's what I did wrong. That's where I need to hold myself accountable. Why did I let them back in? Why was I so forgiving and trusting of them? Right? Because before you used to feel guilty, like if you weren't forgiving, then you felt like that was like, if I can't forgive, then God, well, who is it for God to forgive me then if I can't forgive? But see, collective, you understand forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. So you over time, you've developed and you realize you had this epiphany, like, wait a minute. Forgiveness is for me, so that's just me releasing the pain. I'm just releasing those emotions behind the person that hurt me. I'm not giving that person access back into my life. No, they're going to stay out of my life. I'm just removing the hurt and the pain. That's all forgiving is. That's what you realize, collective. So now you move through life and you forgive people after they do you wrong. Because you realize forgiving is just releasing that energy. You're just releasing the hurt and you're giving it back to them. You're returning the sender because you don't want that energy on you. It wasn't yours to begin with, right? So you learned how to forgive by releasing it and leaving them where they're at, right? And so I just love this for you, collective. Like, you, like, literally protecting your peace and your energy is your priority now. Because in the past, people would disturb your peace real fast, real easy, because you care too much for people and their opinions, right? And then you realize people don't do the same for you. They don't care as much for you, right? And so you switched it up real fast. Like, you're not going to overgive and overdo no more. You're not doing that because you watched how other people played in your face and pour into somebody else and left you like you was dust. So because you know your worth and your value and you know what you bring to the table now, collective, see, you took back your power so much. You know your worth. You know you're a good person in life. You know you bring value anywhere you go because of the person you are. You're reliable, you're dependent, you're hardworking, you are intelligent, you're non-confrontational, you're not dramatic. I mean, you're a good citizen. You'd be considered a good citizen, right? And so you know your worth. So you're not going to allow people to just come in your life and play with you anymore, collective. You don't let people just disrespect you, right? You know what I'm saying? You will check the disrespect at the door. As soon as that line gets crossed, you're checking it. And you've learned now how to even check the disrespect without even having to speak about it or without even have to react, right? This is how you move now through life. You know, you decided to choose yourself. You decided to say, I had enough of people playing in my face, pretending like they like me, just so that they can benefit from the good things that I do in life and the good things that I do for them. You know, because you were doing for people who didn't even care about you at all. They didn't care about, they probably weren't even interested in your life. They weren't interested in the things that you like to do. They probably didn't invite you out many places. They didn't treat you like a human. They treated you like an object or a task or a benefit, right? Because you were just giving and giving and giving. And it's not like you were receiving back, because you're not that type of person. You don't just give to expect back. You're just giving, just generously, right? But you understand that giving too generously comes at a cost, right? You will attract people who will just drain you and take with no regards to your care at all. They're just here to suck the resources dry from you. So you've developed these barriers and these boundaries to protect yourself now, collective, because you see that there are these types of people out here, right? And even in your everyday life, you notice because of your energy is so abundant and vibrant, they be trying to run up so much into your energy left and right, and it be like quick and fast. It's like almost this urgent energy in people, like people that you meet on a day to day. They be pressed down to get in your energy. Sometimes they want you to buy something off of them, or they want to just get in your energy and get in your space. Like that obsessive type of energy. You moved away from that collective. Like you protect your peace from those types of people, right? Because you're at peace with yourself. So you're not pressed for a friend. You're not pressed for a connection. You value your health, your peace of mind over just any random connection, right? Your quality over quantity. So you'll sacrifice, a connection for your peace of mind. You'll be alone. You'll walk alone if that means that you don't have to deal with toxic people, right? And even when you get in these toxic environments, you know how to navigate and maneuver through them like water because you've worked on yourself and you understand the dynamics of how these toxic environments work and the different behaviors. And so even in these situations, in these environments, you know how to maneuver through them, right? And so I'm just so proud of you, collective, because you've really done the work to, just show people how to treat you, right? And show people that you cannot continue to just take advantage of people and not pour back into them, right? You're showing people the law of reciprocity. If you're pouring out into other people, then other people you should be receiving the pour back, right? This is what you learned now, collective. So you don't do you don't give out free handouts anymore, right? So when people show up and show you who they are and they show up as their authentic self and show up as loving, you're right there with them, showing them support. You know what I'm saying? But and you reciprocate that energy. But if somebody's showing up and they're not showing you really any interest, little to no interest, they're really dry, the connection is just, then you'll leave it as that. You're not going to try to reach out or pour more into the connection. No, you're going to meet them where they're at now, because you understand the importance of self-preservation, collective. Who am I talking to, collective? Because I feel like I'm talking to quite a few of you out there. If this message rings true for you, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And listen, if this is your first time here on my channel, I would love to have you a part of our tribe. So make sure you subscribe, okay? And if you're returning, thank y'all so much for continuing to support me. I love y'all so much. It's Kar. I'm signing out. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.